Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Bhāgavatāṁs class. And this is a class from Canto 3, which is entitled The Status Quo. Chapter 2, Remembrance of Lord Krishna. And this morning we're doing text number 24. So without further ado, we'll start the class. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yamunatira Vannachari, Yamunatira Vannachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivadadhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yamunatira Vannachari, Yamunatira Vannachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivājakarāya Astottara Satasishimādas Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivājakarāya Astottara Satasishimādas Divine Grace Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrind Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Sivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham ki jai. Jagannath Swami ki jai. Ganga Mayi ki jai. Jamuna Mayi ki jai. Tulsi Devi ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktavinda ki jai. Nitai Go Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Praise Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Kanaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swamini Namine. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Siddhartmane Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namine. Narayana Namaskritya Narum Chevam Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayat Nashta Prayeshwa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavata Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 2, and text number 24. Manye surān-bhāgavatāṁs saṁrambha-mārgābhiniviṣṭa-cittān ye saṁyuge cakṣata tārkṣya-putram aṁse sunābhāyudham āpatantam manye surān-bhāgavatāṁs tryadhīśe saṁrambha-mārgābhiniviṣṭa-cittān ye saṁyuge cakṣata tārkṣya-putram aṁse sunābhāyudham āpatantam manye surān-bhāgavatāṁs tryadhīśe saṁrambha-mārgābhiniviṣṭa-cittān ye saṁyuge cakṣata tārkṣya-putram aṁse sunābhāyudham āpatantam. Hare Krishna.
Manye surān bhāgavatāṁs tryadhīśe saṁrambha-mārgābhiniviṣṭa-cittān ye saṁyuge cakṣata tārkṣya-putram aṁse sunābhāyudham āpatantam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Manye suram bhagavatāṁs trayadhīśe saṁrambha-mārgābhiniviṣṭa-cittān ye saṁyuge cakṣata tārkṣya-putram aṁse sunābhāyudham āpatantam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
manye surān bhagavatam tryadhīśe saṁrambha-mārgābhiniviṣṭa-cittān ye saṁyuge cakṣata trakṣya-putram aṁse sunābhāyudham āpatantam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right, we do word for word. Manye, I think. Asuran, the demons. Bhagavatam, great devotees. Tryadhīśe, unto the Lord of the trees. Saṁrambha, enmity. Marga, the way of, or by the way of. Abhiniviṣṭa-cittān, absorbed in thought. Ye, those. saṁyuge, in the fight, cakṣata, could see, tārkṣya-putram, Garuḍa, the carrier of the Lord. Aṁse, on the shoulder, sunābhā, the wheel, āyudham, one who carries the weapon, āpatantam, coming forward. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Pariksit. I consider the demons who are inimical toward the Lord to be more than devotees, because while fighting with the Lord, absorbed in thoughts of enmity, they are able to see the Lord carried on the shoulder of Garuḍa, the son of tārkṣya, Kaśyapa, and carrying the wheel weapon in his hand. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The asuras who fought against the Lord face to face got salvation due to their being killed by the Lord. This salvation of the demons is not due to their being devotees of the Lord. It is because of the Lord's causeless mercy. Anyone who is slightly in touch with the Lord somehow or other is greatly benefited, even to the point of salvation, due to the excellence of the Lord. He is so kind that he awards salvation even to his enemies, because they come into contact with him and are indirectly absorbed in him by their inimical thoughts. Actually, the demons can never be equal to the pure devotees, but Uddhava was thinking in that way because of his feelings of separation. He was thinking that at the last stage of his life, he might not be able to see the Lord face to face, as did the demons. The fact is that the devotees who are always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord in transcendental love are rewarded many hundreds and thousands of times more than the demons by being elevated to the spiritual planets, where they remain with the Lord in eternal blissful existence. The demons and impersonalists are awarded the facility of merging in the Brahmajyoti effulgence of the Lord, whereas the devotees are admitted into the spiritual planets. For comparison, one can just imagine the difference between floating in space and residing in one of the planets in the sky. The pleasure of the living entities on the planets is greater than that of those who have no body and who merge within the molecules of the sun's rays. The impersonalists, therefore, are no more favored than the enemies of the Lord. Rather, they are both on the same level of spiritual salvation. Oma Gyanati Mirandasya, Gyana Gyana Shalakaya, Chakshu Umilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurure Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Madhovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam, Tadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Peshtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini. Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatani. Namo Mahabharanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gurakise Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Tira Dvaita Gadadha Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Prabhupada's translation again. I consider the demons who are inimical toward the Lord to be more than the devotees, because while fighting with the Lord, absorbed in thoughts of enmity, they are able to see the Lord carried on the shoulder of Garuḍa, the son of tārkṣya, Kaśyapa, and carrying the wheel weapon in his hand. Hare Krishna. So who is speaking? Well, that's Uddhava, because Vidura has gone on pilgrimage leaving Hastinapur, and now he's traveling, going to holy places. And in his travel, he's met with Uddhava, and he's asked about the welfare of family members. And the last and the best question he asks is asking about the welfare of Krishna. And Uddhava has gone into trance briefly and come back to consciousness like we know. And now he's answering questions about Krishna, reminiscing about Krishna. He's asking about, he's talking about, not asking about, he's talking about Krishna, and based on the association he has had with him, an association that others have had with him. And he's talking about association of devotees with Krishna, and also the association of demons, which is not really the type of association that the devotees get with Krishna. Demons are envious of Krishna. Demons want Krishna's place. They want to be the controllers. And Uddhava is thinking about the demons that Krishna has killed. And he says, just like it says in this translation, I consider the demons to be more fortunate than the devotees. Now, this is a level of humility that we usually don't see and don't exhibit. So Srila Prabhupada has mercifully, in the purport, broken it down to what the reality is. Uddhava is saying the demons who are inimical to the Lord, they are more than the devotees. Now, why did he say that? He says because while fighting with the Lord in absorbed in thoughts of enmity, they are able to see the Lord though. When a person is getting ready to die, of course, if they're fighting with the Lord, you're going to be a demon fighting with the Lord. The conclusion is the same. They get killed. The end result is the same. But if they're fighting with Krishna, they are thinking negatively about Krishna. But one thing is clear, and that's what Uddhava is basing his argument on. They get to see the Lord. The Lord is right in front of them, face to face, giving them pain, because demons give pain to others and discomfort to others, and Krishna is punishing them. So the fight gives them pain, true enough, but they see the Lord though. And if for devotees, our situation, anyone is leaving the body and they see the Lord even in their mind's eye, you see a picture of the Lord or a picture of a representative of the Lord, the bona fide spiritual master, the mind will be focused on the Lord. And when the mind is focused on the Lord at the time of death, we go into the Lord's abode. So the demons, because the Lord is right in front of them, they see the Lord without a doubt. So because of that, then Uddhava, in his humility, made that comparison and said, the demons are more fortunate. They be more than the devotees. But actually, how can a person who has given his heart to serving the Lord be less fortunate than a person who hates the Lord? So in reality, that's not the case. But you got to understand sometimes how the pure devotees think. Anyone who associates with the Lord, another pure devotee thinks that they are more fortunate than him or her when they make a comparison. The book called the Brihad-bhagavatāṁ Gita, it's in 3 volumes. Actually, it's in 3 books, 2 volumes, but 3 books. Volume 1 is 1 book, and volume 2 is in 2 books. That's the way they put it. The whole of volume 1 is saying something like this, the way Uddhava is thinking. The only difference is that nobody among the devotees there that are talked about in volume 1 of Brihad-bhagavatāṁ Gita mentions the demons. But the thoughts are pretty much the same as the way Uddhava is describing. So this is very, very high level humility, because devotees usually say that I am under this other person. This person is more advanced than me. And then they come up with a reason why they think the other person is more advanced. That I'm going to coin one word to describe this. That's exactly anti-envy. Because a person that's envious would think that they're better than the other person, or they should have something that the other person has. They deserve it more. That's how envious or jealous people think. But those who are not jealous, think the opposite. They think that someone else is better. As a matter of fact, one thing we should be train ourselves, literally train ourselves to get to is when someone, this is at our level now, as conditioned as we are, when someone is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead nicely, we should be happy for them. We shouldn't think, oh, why is he serving so nicely and not me serving like that? I wish I was in that position. No, that's envy. And envy will not take us back to Godhead. Because envy is our original sin, original offense. We envied Krishna, that's why we got put here. So we should be willing to train the mind. If the mind starts to go, oh, this person has more clout and more influence than me, immediately check the mind. You're not supposed to think like that. My dear mind, you're sabotaging my devotional service, sabotaging my bhakti. Praise the person who has done well. The last Sunday, we had a program. All those who in Harrisburg know what happened in the program. There was an appreciation of everybody's service at the Rath Yatra. That is the way a devotee should think. So, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the asuras who fought the Lord, this is in the purport, they fought the Lord against the Lord face to face. So they got salvation due to being killed by the Lord. They left the bodies and then they got salvation. The salvation will be defined a little more later. So Srila Prabhupada says this salvation of the demons is not due to their being devotees of the Lord. Obviously, devotees, demons, the two different classes. Those who love the Lord, or at least learning to love the Lord, that's us. And those who hate the Lord, that's the demons. So if the demons got salvation, it's not because they are devoted to the Lord. The Lord was just merciful towards them. And that's why the Lord's mercy is called causeless mercy. Because quite frankly, the demons don't deserve that kind of mercy. They don't. The Lord, by his own nature, gives them. If we make a comparison to the way life is, if a criminal, a person commits a crime, and they are arrested, they are bound in handcuffs. Not that a person is arrested from doing something bad and then they take them to a place where there's so much fun happening and reward them that way. And they've done something wrong. Of course, that's not done here. But the Lord, you have to understand, owns everything and everybody. Both material and spiritual worlds come from him. Every living entity is from him. So he doesn't hate others, other living entities, not even the demons. He can get angry with them and punish them, but hatred is a sustained dislike. That he doesn't have for anyone. They are everybody's, we are all his parts and parcels. That includes the demons. They even have a place, the Rakshasas, in the lower part of the planetary system, in lower planetary systems, in the universe, that's where they are. They even have their place. So the Lord is not against them in terms of hating them. But if they do something wrong and if they cause problems to others, and the devotees begin to plead for help, the Lord will come and stop them from doing what they're doing. So Srila Prabhupada says, even anyone gets slightly in touch with the Lord, somehow or other, they will be greatly benefited, even to the point of salvation, because the Lord is like that. The Lord is excellent in his mercy that way. So that's why His Holiness Radha Govinda Maharaj made one statement in answer to a question, lecture he gave, questions and answers came. Somebody asked a question, And then when he answered it, he said, every person who says yes to Krishna is going back to Godhead. Every person will be saved. Every person will go back to Godhead if you say yes to Krishna. Why? Because Krishna himself is like that. He makes it available. If you say yes to Krishna, then one situation after another, he will pull you closer to him. For some people, when they really want to be close to Krishna, Krishna will definitely allow that to happen by changing the material situation. Maybe certain jobs will be taken away so that just a few months later, another situation is set up and the person, the devotee, will realize they are actually in a better situation, materially and spiritually, that they have more time to serve the Lord and serve the devotees, and at the same time, their situation materially has been improved. But because we are so attached to where we are, we think that we're comfortable. When Krishna decides to make that change, sometimes we become morose, not realizing that Krishna actually is setting us up for something better. We don't have an intelligence anywhere near Krishna's intelligence. So we're saying to the point that if something gets changed in our lives, then we are serving the Lord. It's not that the Lord wants to give us trouble. It actually is that the Lord wants to improve our spiritual situation so that this soul, what we have now, we are the souls, will get an opportunity to go back to Godhead. It is a setup. But Krishna does not seek our permission to change things. He is the Supreme Father, he's the Supreme Controller. Therefore, if it's for the person's benefit, he'll change it anyway. Even if at first, when the changes are taking place, we don't understand and we think that we are in trouble. Krishna never puts anybody in trouble like that. No. He pulls people closer to us. Some of us speaking about this, and you may hear other devotees too, myself, we've all been through situations that we thought we were in trouble materially. And then we found out later on at the other side that here we were not in trouble anymore. It had finished, and our situation had been such that now we have time to do quality service to the Lord, and our material situation is also good. Everything working out. But it's not according to our plan. We got to understand there's Krishna's plan. So our plans usually don't jive, or they don't, they're not consistent or congruent to Krishna's plans. But Krishna knows what's best for us. So even if what we are thinking is not the same like Krishna is thinking, Krishna will do his plan anyway to benefit us better than we can do ourselves. So if Krishna would even give demons salvation, why wouldn't he do better for devotees who love him? Demons hate him. So Srila Prabhupada says, actually, the demons can never be equal to the pure devotees. But Uddhava was thinking this way because of his feelings of separation. He was feeling separation, the Lord had left, and he had wanted to go back to the spiritual world with the Lord, and the Lord asked him to stay. So he was missing the Lord. And if he's missing the Lord, maybe we can have a little bit of understanding why he's speaking that way. He's missing the Lord. Therefore, anyone that Uddhava remembers about them being close to the Lord, he thinks that they're better off because he's missing the Lord, but they see the Lord. So the demons get to fight with the Lord because and in that they see him face to face. Therefore, Uddhava is saying, well, they're fortunate because they are now seeing the Lord face to face, and I'm not seeing the Lord because the Lord is gone from me. That's why he made that statement. So Srila Prabhupada said, the fact is that devotees who are engaged in devotional service of the Lord in transcendental love are rewarded many, many hundreds and thousands of times more than the demons by being elevated to the spiritual planets. And they remain with the Lord in Satchidananda, eternity, bliss, and all knowledge. But the demons who are given salvation, and the impersonalists who are also thinking about not the Lord as a person, but his effulgent rays, that's where they go. They are awarded the facility of merging into the Brahma-jyoti, the effulgence of the Lord. The effulgence of the Lord is spiritual. not in the material world. So they also get taken from the material world, but they go into the impersonal race of the Lord. A devotee that leaves the material world with Krishna's mercy and blessings of the Guru, going back to the spiritual world, this soul, which is really us, tiny soul, expands into its fullness. In the Siddha Swarup, the original body or original way the person is, or the personality is in the spiritual world. They are original situation. But it involves expansion. We're not tiny atomic species anymore, for lack of a better word. But the demons and the impersonalists, who also are souls just as tiny as we are. The body may be different. They may be big. We have little bodies, germs, and then we have huge, huge demons too. They're all there. But the soul is the same, atomic in size, while in the material world. When they get salvation, the soul does not expand, not for demons and impersonalists. It remains atomic, and it merges into the effulgence of the Lord. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is saying, just for comparison, one can imagine the difference between floating in space, because the effulgence of the Lord is all over. It's in space. Spiritual space, and the planets are all in that space. I'm talking about the spiritual planets. In the material world, we also have the sun, but it's only the reflection. The sun that we have in the material world, every universe having one sun, is a reflection of the Brahmajyoti, Krishna's effulgent rays. So the demons, they remain small, tiny, atomic, and they go into that effulgence of the Lord in the spiritual sky, floating. So it is peaceful, but there's no activity. Whereas the devotees go into actual Vaikuntha planets, and they get to associate with other devotees and associate with Lord Narayan in the Vaikuntha planets, or with Lord Krishna himself in Goloka Vrindavan. So obviously, the devotees are in a much better situation than the demons. But the only thing is, Uddhava is saying, well, I'm not seeing Krishna. Krishna is gone. And here are demons. They get to fight with Krishna and they meet him face to face. So I'm not seeing him face to face. They are seeing him face to face. Therefore, I think they're better. That's just sentiment. Uddhava's sentiment. And Srila Prabhupada says the reality is devotees are blessed way, 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 way more. Many hundreds and thousands of times than the demons. So, what should we do? We should keep our service as great, great, great priority in everything that we do. The real success in living life here is to serve the devotees, to serve Krishna, to serve Guru. That's success in life. Nothing else comes close to success in life than these, devotional service. So in the Narada Bhakti Sutra, Narada Muni has written statements, short statements. There's a lot of them, so the whole book is compiled like that. And today we look at Sutra number 38. Mukyatastu mahat kripayeva bhagavat kripat leshadva. The translation is, primarily, however, one develops bhakti by the mercy of great souls or by a small drop of the Lord's mercy. So devotional service that we're involved in comes about by a small drop of Krishna's mercy, or by the mercy of great souls. And for us, I can vouch for 100% to this statement that we came to bhakti because of the mercy of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. We either heard from someone connected to Srila Prabhupada, a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada, or a grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada, or this time even a great grand disciple of Srila Prabhupada. Those are living now. or Srila Prabhupada's own books. So this is how we got to know about bhakti. And it resonated with us. Fortunately, it resonated with us. We are a tiny, tiny percentage of the world's population of human beings. Devotees are. For every single devotee, one devotee in this world, this planet, there are 4,000 non-devotees. So that's how few we are. 2 million devotees around the world and 8.1 billion of people. So if you make the division, 8.1 billion divided by 2 million, well, 8,100 million. So you just divide 8,100 by 2, and that's about 4,000. 4,000, 50 if you like. But for every single devotee, it's about 4,000 non-devotees. So we're very few. Like a stadium, 40,000 people in a stadium for whatever function it is they want to watch. 40,000 people. And let's just say from the 40,000 people, they're watching at night. Maybe it was a music show, so the lights are all turned off. Only the stage has lights. And it's dark, but they see the stage, they see the performer. Let's say they are devotees in that group. So for that 40,000, 10 of them would be devotees. Only 10 out of 40,000. So you got to understand it's huge, 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 and huge opportunity that we have to go back to Godhead. Very few are going back to Godhead. Very, very, very few. And so the Lord's mercy is so overwhelming that if we say yes to Krishna, the way Radha Govinda Maharaj explained it, you'll go back to Godhead. What's the difference? Well, how soon you go back to Godhead? Would you go back to Godhead after this life, or the next one, or the next one? How do you know whether you go back to Godhead this life or next life? It depends on how serious you are with your devotion. And everybody that's here at this point is doing one great thing, because the first thing Srila Prabhupada said is to hear. There's hearing, there's chanting. Chanting is the most important. The first thing is to hear. Because hearing is the one by which we find out what is what about bhakti, what to do, what not to do, and things are explained to us. We also get to ask questions. So that way, we begin to understand what this is about, bhakti is about. So one develops devotional service, connects the heart to devotional service through the mercy of great souls, one of them now being Srila Prabhupada, or by a small drop of the Lord's mercy. If we meet the Lord directly, somehow that can also happen. So, Srila Prabhupada in the purport for this Narada Bhakti Sutra, he says, the main practices have been listed by Narada Muni for a devotee in training. That's us. We call sadhakas, the devotee in training. So he now is saying, Narada is saying, a devotee cannot succeed simply on the strength of his own endeavor. The endeavor may be there for a devotee to be a better person, but it's actually by the mercy of the Lord, or the mercy from Krishna's representative. That's how a person succeeds. His Holiness Hridayananda Maharaj, when I mentioned these are all gurus in ISKCON. Radha Govinda Maharaj is a guru in ISKCON. Hridayananda Maharaj is also a guru. These are all spiritual masters who disciples in ISKCON. And Hridayananda Maharaj said at Girinagri in one lecture, a couple of decades back, maybe 20 years ago, he said, we cannot purify ourselves. Purification is done by Krishna. When we put ourselves to serve, and Krishna is happy with the quality of our service and our determination to serve, then he purifies us. And in so many ways he purifies us. Sometimes he can purify us through lectures. He can purify us through the mercy of another devotee. He can purify us by giving us somebody that we can associate with that is very fixed up and we can learn from that person. and get purified that way. Or Krishna can arrange for someone who is quite experienced to come in our life space and become a friend. And that way, we just have many kind of dealings with that, relation with that person. But through that, you're getting purified because the person knows what is what. It's been trained by Guru and it's just sharing. So, who is a sadhu? Srila Prabhupada explains. The sadhu is a person, when you seek an association of sadhu. That's very important because unless we do that, bhakti will not flourish in our lives. So we have to know who a sadhu is. Don't look at all these people with a saffron robe and a long beard only. Many of them appear on YouTube and you think that they are so fascinating. Bhagavad Gita describes a sadhu, a saint, as a person who unflinchingly engages in devotional service. That is a sadhu, a saint. So that's why Srila Prabhupada says, Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate. Sagunaya samachitetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So he says, the one who engages in devotional service unflinchingly, no matter what situation, even trying or terrible situation, or we used to call it reversals, happen, they serve anyway, find a way to get around the reversal or solve whatever that difficulty is so that they can serve. That person comes to the Brahma-bhuta platform. The Brahma-bhuta platform is the highest platform where one is, mind and heart constantly thinking about Krishna and constantly engaging in Krishna service. So here's one of the things, or some of the things that can help us in our devotional service. We should be ready to serve other devotees. In talking with devotees, we should hear what it is that they need. Sometimes little, or bits and pieces of a person's thoughts, serious thoughts, or help that they need comes out in the conversation that we have. So even over prasadam when we're talking, don't talk about work and those kinds of, that's material stuff. You can talk about your own person. Talk about Krishna. But then sometimes a few drops of needs get described by the person we're talking to. Make a note of it and attempt to find ways to supply that need, especially if it's connected with devotional service. It could be anything. Now, if you do that, what's the advantage? Two advantages are there. One, the person's relationship with you will be solidified even more. They will be very appreciative of the help that you've given them. That's one. Second, and that's the one that people don't think about very much, that person would want to be in this association of devotees. They would be in this society, the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. They will like the society as a whole. It's because it's through that society that they got the Sangha, the association, and now got the help and a very reliable friend also. So yes, on a personal level, the relationship between ourselves and the person that we help would be better than it was before. Even if it's good, it will be better. And secondly, you would want to say, you would look at the society as a whole as a very good society and a good place to be in. So nobody would think about leaving the society then. The Prabhupada sweated so much, went through so much trouble just to get our society, a society that we call the ISKCON, established, and now it is flourishing. We have to protect the society. So one, help others and maintain good relationship. The other side of it is don't offend anyone. Don't offend anyone. Look for the welfare of someone else. This is what we just talked about in the first thing. But don't offend anyone. Because offenses give Maya a chance to come in and break our relationships. Don't offend anyone. So what do you do when somebody offends you? What should you do? Should you offend back? No, there is no tit for tat in devotional service. No. In fact, it is serious, a very serious thing, if you try to offend that person back, because your mind is justifying, but he did this to me, therefore I do something back to him. One thing we have to understand is Krishna is the underlying cause for everything. Lord Brahma has said it sarva karana karanam in his Brahma compilation called the Brahma Samhita. So everything that's happened to us is destined to happen. It is lessons sometimes, the negative ones, the reversals. They all have lessons that we have to learn from. If somebody, the easiest lesson to learn from is if somebody does something negative to us, of course we have emotions. We won't like it. We're not saying that we should accept the problem. No, we won't like it, but we don't hit back at the person. Why? Krishna is the cause of all causes, so there are no accidents in life. If somebody has done that to you, it was supposed to happen. And that's what devotees have to understand. Religionists won't understand it. They would even fight this statement. It's supposed to happen. Why? Well, let's look at the other side of it. If it just happened by chance, then Krishna has no control then. He doesn't have full control. Because if Krishna has full control, and we say he is a supreme controller, then everything that happens is based on his knowledge. He knows it's going to happen. And that arrangement is made for something, one or two things. Something we have to learn from, or something that we've done in the previous life that was far worse than what's happening to us. In other words, we're paying back part of our own problems. Another argument that supports this is, how come the person offended us and didn't offend the other person that was sitting there? Only us. Why? Can you answer that? Of course not. But the only reason, or the only statement that supports that reason that the person came and did that to us and not to someone else, is that it's meant to happen to us. And if it's meant to happen to us, if we strike back at that person, that is the tit for tat, then we have also added on to our spiritual debits. Now it's going to go against us. So the whole analysis here, the conclusion is, be kind to everybody, and when somebody offends you, do not offend back. Be kind to everybody. Be, at the very least, be cordial with everybody. Some people you'll be closer to than others, but you should always be nice to everybody. As a matter of fact, we were trained in Gitanagari. When you see another devotee, you say Hare Krishna. But you have to say Hare Krishna with the smile. And please don't forget that. A smile changes the mood between you and that person. Just that little smile. My Guru Maharaj did it, Bhakti Maharaj, constantly. People even talked about his smile. One of his godbrothers says, if I only could have the smile of Bhakti Swami, I'll be very nice. Actually, he had a very good looking face. He was very, very handsome, physically. So when he smiled, people liked it a lot. And he's also very well versed in Krishna consciousness, trained by Srila Prabhupada. So you say Hare Krishna, but you have to have a smile on your face when you say that. The smile says that I appreciate you and I like you as a person, even though you don't say it. So you see, everybody that comes to you say, yeah, Hare Krishna. And don't just put on a straight face and say Hare Krishna, because that doesn't have much of an effect. So then the relationship becomes better. We serve others. It is a very, very, very quick, or fast, as they say in America, fast track to improving our devotion. The fast track to improving our devotion is to look to serve others. When we serve others, Krishna is pleased with us. Now, this is what happens when Krishna is pleased with us. Then our lives get put into, get transferred from regular life to a life that includes what my Guru Maharaj calls Krishna magic. In other words, so many things happen around us that we couldn't have figured out how to do it as well as the way it happened. We're living a life now that is based on Krishna giving us one small miracle after another, is what we're saying. And not only in our devotional life when we're chanting and Krishna, no, everything that we do in material life. It gets to a point where if we're very observant, we realize that we are moved everywhere based on Krishna helping us. It is actually not only true, it is very, very practical. And when you come to that realization that Krishna can help like that, you become extremely happy. Because even when you think you've made a mistake, you've gone someplace and you turned and, there's so many examples of that. You see Krishna's hand in it. It happened one with Krishna, then Krishna, meaning that Super Soul. And Super Soul is one that's directly for, but Super Soul is an incarnation of Krishna, an expansion of the Lord. He will just guide us left and right. And our life will become a lot easier. The things that we say, they are reversals and negative things. I don't talk about the positive because we are happy about the positive things that happen in our life, true enough. It's the negative things that sometimes we go through changes because of it. But we will see that even the negative things are ways we will be guided as to what we should stop doing or that we should do. So when somebody comes to us, if it's an attack, physical attack, we have every right to defend ourselves. Even the United States law says that a person who is attacked has every right to defend himself. And if it's a self-defense, the cops will not take you and bind you and take you into any prison. It doesn't happen. They free you immediately. So yes, you can defend yourself. But don't think that this is contrary to what we said before. That if a negative thing is supposed to happen to someone, then Krishna knows that it's bound to happen, then there are reasons why it's happening. But you also have if it's an attack, you can defend yourself. Because the reality is you only can defend yourself to the extent that Krishna allows you to defend yourself. Don't think it's in your power to do everything. See, the living entity thinks that we can do everything on our own. But actually, it's the three modes of material nature that controls us. And who set up the three modes of material nature? Lord Vishnu. So even we can true enough, we can defend ourselves. But even that, to the extent that we can defend ourselves, that is also supplied by Krishna. That defense. So yes, if we get offended, don't offend back. If we get upset, and we would get upset, leave the area. If somebody attacks, you should definitely defend yourself. And you can call on Krishna's name by defending yourself. But you also have to understand that you may be able to defend yourself fully, or something may happen. But it is all based on the extent to which Krishna does things. And even in the worst case scenario, that somebody's attack actually hurt the person. The person that's attacked you has succeeded in injuring or wounding a part of your body. What should be the consciousness for the devotee for which that has happened to? The consciousness should be, I am in the material world where good people and bad people reside. Good and bad are here. Who asked us to come here? We did. The spiritual world, nothing like that will happen to us. It's all joy, it's all party, it's all wealth, everything is there for happiness. We decided to come here. So the first thing we have to tell the mind is, my dear mind, if I had stayed in the spiritual world, this wouldn't have happened to me. So the person who really is at fault is us for coming to the material world. So we learn that lesson. So the difficulties that come should make us think we should be very determined to leave the material world. It could be little things. A mosquito that bit us, made us sick. Well, the mosquito is not going to bite you in the spiritual world and make you sick. You just happen in the material world, and that's why we're going through that. So every negative thing that happens to us should make us more determined to leave this place. Now, we also have to satisfy Krishna and make Krishna happy with us. And one of the things that makes Krishna happy with us is when we try, not to ourselves only to leave this place, but preach to others so that they also will begin their journey out of the material world. In other words, leave the material world, prepare to go in the material world, because you're already getting the mercy of Guru, but get others to be involved in the whole process of leaving so they also can start the process of leaving the material world. The material world will never make us happy. It doesn't work. The richest people are the greatest people in anxiety. The richest people are the ones that worry too much that somebody will take their money. Half the time, they can't even sleep well. And they're supposed to be wealthy. But there's much greater wealth in the spiritual world, and you have a good time the whole time. With much greater, millions more wealth is accessible by every living entity in the spiritual world. There's no comparison. So the fact is, Guru has given us great mercy. We should take advantage of the situation we're in. Serve devotees. That's the quickest way to advance in devotional service and make Krishna happy with us. Serve devotees. Help devotees. Preach to get more people. Supply books, Srila Prabhupada's books, to get more people involved in Krishna consciousness and start their turn, their quest to go back to Godhead, just like we are in our quest to go back to Godhead. So it's not difficult. It's just a matter of opening the heart and serving and serving and serving and serving. Krishna says he should serve his devotees. He's happier than even serving himself directly. That's why the quickest way, Mad Bhakta Puja Vyadika, that's why the quickest way is service to the devotees. The quickest way to advance in devotion service is association and service. And the chanting becomes sweeter when we do that. So many benefits are there. So Uddhava is thinking in terms of, well, even the demons are happier because they get to see the Lord at the time of death because the Lord is right in front of them. They made that comparison. But Srila Prabhupada has told us devotees are not going to be another atom in the effulgence of the Lord. They're going back home to associate with each other in all goodness and happiness and all knowledge. So all of that's waiting for us. Srila Prabhupada has given us great mercy. We should just simply, as he says, take advantage of it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you for coming on to hear. We all get purified, myself included, because it's through the mercy of Guru and Gauranga that we're speaking. It's not by my own knowledge. So this is the time to unmute yourself. You have a question, you have a comment, you certainly can unmute yourself and share that. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Okay, I'm not hearing anything.
Hare
Oh,
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. That is some on basis. This will go to the Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you for such a nice class, Prabhu.
Krishna's
What a
mercy, Krishna's mercy.
wonderful point. Like you were mentioning about how simple and the process is. We don't have to make it very complicated for ourselves. Oh, I'm hearing the echo.
Oh, you hearing an echo?
Yeah,
Well, I don't.
I think the other one is also.
Okay, I'm looking at your name and I'm seeing that mine is touched. So what I'm going to do is get off this one. Okay, is the echo gone?
I think so.
Okay, electronics, but I saw one. Yeah, so from my end here, that's why I took another one off. This is my backup one that was maybe disturbing you. Okay, go ahead.
That, you made a very nice point about the offenses and how to keep oneself shel- sheltered or shielded from the offenses,
Hmm.
not to take the offenses also, so that it is easier for us as well to move in our services.
Yeah.
Sometimes we carry the burden, and if it goes longer and longer, it becomes difficult to like serve more and in a pleasant way. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you for that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So while you're talking, thank you for your comment. While you're talking, the thought came to my mind. Somebody's they complain a whole lot. Well, now let's give you one thing to complain about. Complain about why you came to the material world in the first place. That is the mother of all complaints. We don't usually want to do that, but the real problem is we came to the material world, and that's why all of these problems are coming to us, besetting us, giving us problems. So if we got any complain about why we're here in the material world, when Krishna has given us such a wonderful place to be, and we chose to leave the spiritual world and come here. Mm? Now, if you complain about that, you realize it's actually ridiculous to complain about anything else, because the problem started with us. Krishna didn't say we should leave the spiritual world. We did. Mm? So now the mercy has come, and now you know only one devotee out of 4,000 non-devotees exist in this material world. We are very fortunate. So now take advantage of all the do's and don'ts in devotional service that you can go back so we don't have to complain anymore about our unfortunate situation. It's actually us. We the ones that got in the material world and all of these problems started, and we're complaining about the problems. But who said to come here? Nobody said to come here. We did. So face whatever. This is also Lord Brahma's statement. Tatenu kampasu sikshamano. It's in Bhāgavatāṁs. It explains. It says the one who bears all of these problems in the world and still serves you from the bottom of her heart, that person has earned the right to go home. Just paraphrasing that statement. But it comes to the same thing. We put ourselves in a bad situation in the spiritual world, and then we got brought to the material world. The person who understands that we came to the material world because of our own mistake of how we regarded things, wanting to be the leader in the spiritual world when Krishna is the leader. So, okay, so now we know we're wrong, and we are in prison for that reason. But we can get out of prison, and 1 out of 4,000 is only going. The rest, way more, 4,000 plus actually, are not even thinking of going for every single devotee. That many people are not going, trying to make make do with what here in the material world, even though all disturbances are coming to them. Somehow they think they're going to be happy, which is crazy. So we know the truth. Just take advantage of the truth and live life for Krishna, live life for the devotees, live life for the bona fide spiritual master, and go. And then we'll be happier. But the biggest complaint should be, why did we come here? And that's complaint directed to ourselves. So, all right, now that we know we're wrong, take advantage of the mercy of Guru and Krishna and go back home. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your comment. Any other comments? More questions? You can ask questions too. If not, then we'd like to thank you for coming on to here. Hearing purifies all of
Hare
us.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Sorry.
Krishna. Ananya
I
Mataji.
I
Yeah.
had one question, Prabhu. I think even I am echoing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
please accept my humble obeisances. All
Accept
glories to
mine. Glory to Srila
Srila
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada. I
Jai.
was just thinking about the annihilation process, like, of the demons. Like, Jai Vijay were two of them. Like, they took births in three lives as demons. They were annihilated by Lord Vishnu and Lord Sri Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna, yeah, he annihilated Dantavakra and
Yeah.
Shishupal. So I was just wondering, like, when they had to go, I mean, we did speak about the five forms of liberation. So they went to the Brahma Jyoti. That's what I understand, like, the Shishupala and Dantavakra and
Yeah.
in the past lives.
Yeah.
So after merging into the Brahma Jyoti, did they go back to the same loka, like Shir Sagar, like, where Lord Vishnu, they were the Dwarpars, right? So I was just thinking, like, how long they were in Brahma Jyoti and they went to their own lokas, right, to serve Lord Vishnu. So that was my question, Prabhuji.
Very good question. First of all, let's talk about the Brahma Jyoti. A personality that goes in the Brahma Jyoti gets out of the material world true enough, because the Brahma Jyoti is spiritual. The effulgent race of Krishna, that's the spiritual atmosphere. They don't go to any planet. They're still in the atomic size and they're still in the Brahma Jyoti. Because there is no interaction with other devotees and no interaction with the Lord in the Brahma Jyoti, nobody stays in the Brahma Jyoti forever. They could be there a long time, but they will return to the material world. So in the case of Jai and Vijay, their situation, because they came as demons, and demons usually, when they get liberated or killed by the Lord, they will go to the Brahma Jyoti. The Shastra doesn't go into detail about it, but if they go to Brahma Jyoti, they will definitely leave the Brahma Jyoti and come back to the material world to continue the next life. Because they were supposed to actually have 3 lifetimes, as you pointed out. They wound up with 4, though, but that's another story. Because, Jaga and Madai are actually also Jai and Vijay in their 4th lifetime. But they asked for that. They asked for it. In the past time, they were supposed to come as demons for 3 lifetimes. But when Lord Chaitanya came, then they said, oh, we want to go again and serve him. And they opted to be demons, this time, Jaga and Madai. So, the point we're making is, even if there is Brahma Jyoti involved in their activity as demons, they get liberated and they went there. Again, the Shastra doesn't explain that part so clearly, at least that I've seen. But because the Brahma Jyoti itself is not a place that anyone stays forever, they would return to the material world and then continue. And then when they were finished, they went back to being gatekeepers where they were before. That was a promise that Lord Narayan gave to them, that they would return. And they also were given the boon that in whatever demonic form that they were in, they will associate with, or they will remember the Lord. Of course, in a negative way, but they will remember the Lord. And their activities all involved the Lord himself. And the Lord came, Krishna, as you explained, the Kildantavaka, and Shishupal, and other situations. The Lord came as Varaha, and Kashipu, and the Lord as half man, half lion. So many situations he killed. That was for Prahlad, actually. It was different. But still, the Lord came in different ways. Lord Ram, that was um, Ravan and Kumbhakarna. That's Lord Ram that dealt with them. So like that. Lord Varaha, they were killed, and then, So then they all got removed from the face of the earth. And then they came back. And they went, and then they came back. And by the way, but the whole point was the Lord simply wanted to sport. That was the real reason. The Lord wanted to, get into the sport of fighting. And you don't get that kind of real good fight in the spiritual world. It's only in the material world they have demons that really hate Krishna or hate the Lord that's going to give the Lord a good fight. That's why the whole thing started. Jai and Vijay came to the material world to satisfy the Lord's desire to fight. That's all. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your question. But at the end, they went back to their posts. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So thank you very much and have a wonderful day and week, and keep the Krishna consciousness strong. Serve other people, because that's the easiest way to please Krishna. Serve other people. And if you want to know how to be dear to Krishna, read the last 6 or 7 texts of chapter 12 in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna describes how to be dear to him. It's all there. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhischa kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again, Hare Krishna. Thank you. I can see your electronic thank yous, and thank you back.